Hello everyone and welcome. What is the difference between the consciousness of a stone, an animal, a man and a sage? Life is aware of itself in different degrees. These degrees of awareness are called levels of consciousness. A stone exists, but it has no consciousness of its own existence. It is consciousness asleep, not yet awakened. There is no life as we know it. It is in a state of pre-life. A stone or matter has no visible mind, no freedom. It is below mind and below time. The state of a stone is comparable to man's state of deep sleep, but from the point of view of waking state only. The stone cannot move and has no knowing consciousness. An animal is conscious of its existence, but not conscious of its consciousness. An animal has more life and more freedom. It can move. Consciousness is coming like a dream. An animal is in a pre-consciousness or pre-egoic state. The mind is not yet fully developed. It has a loose or fluid ego. An animal lives in the past, has no idea of the future. Its experience is of undifferentiated mass. It is not separated out as the me and the other. It knows itself and others only as a prey and predator. In man, mind, intellect, and self-awareness arise. He is in an egoic state. Man can exist. He can know that he exists. And he can also know that he knows that he exists. A man is conscious of his consciousness. He is, in other words, self-conscious. But there is a calamity with it, the ego. With thinking and personality comes future orientation. A man basically lives in the future. He is aware of past, present, and future. Consciousness is now awake, but underneath it, dreams are still floating. Man's wakefulness is not the same as Buddha's wakefulness. There is a lot more freedom, of course, but it is a pseudo kind of freedom because this freedom of choice is influenced by his genes and conditioning. A mind which is full of thoughts of objects cannot be free. He is in illusion. He is in ignorance. The man has not recognized the reality of consciousness yet. A sage or a jnani or a Buddha belongs to the fourth state. A Buddha is in a post-egoic or enlightened state. He is also in a state of no mind like a stone, but with a vast difference. His no mind state is actually a non-mind state. He is at rest. He is relaxed. But his relaxation comes from dropping the time itself. His mind is calm, rippleless lake. But not by remaining below mind, but by going beyond mind or by transcending the mind. Buddha has become fully conscious that the mind is not needed as we know it, or we can say that his mind is pure. A pure mind reflects consciousness in its entirety. Buddha has recognized the nature of experience as awareness. The stone is so unconscious that the mind can barely exist. The stone knows no past, no present, and no future. And so is the case with a Buddha. He lives in eternity. Freedom enters only as a shadow of consciousness. The more conscious you become, the more free. A stone is bound. An animal is also bound. Sanskrit name for animal is pashu, meaning bound by a pasha or a rope. Take a beaded necklace analogy in which the stone is not aware of anything. The animal is aware of beads as a collective unit. The man is aware of beads as separate units, and a Buddha or a sage is aware of the beads with the underlying thread that connects it all. A oneness connecting the all. The thread in this analogy is consciousness or awareness. In conclusion, a stone is utterly in bondage. An animal is mostly in bondage. Buddha, a sage or a jnani, is utterly free, or more precisely, freedom himself or herself. And a man is in between. So, realize Buddhahood or Ananda or completeness. Thank you.